Sermon number 182. Creatures and Attributes of Allah. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. It has been related by Nofabik Ali that Amir al-Mu'mineen, Ali, peace be upon him, delivered this sermon at Kufa standing on a stone which Jadu ibn Hubayra Makhzumi had placed for him. Amir al-Mu'mineen had a woolen apparel on his body, the belt of his sword was made of leaves, and the sandals on his feet too were of palm leaves. His forehead had a hardened spot like that a camel, on its knee, due to many and long prostrations. Praise be to Allah, to whom is the return of all creation and the end of all matters. We render him praise for the greatness of his generosity, the charity of his proofs, the increase of his bounty and his favors, praise which may fulfill his right, repay his thanks, take us near his reward, and be productive of increase in his kindness. We seek his help like one who is helpful of his bounty, desirous of his benefit, and confident of his warding off calamities, who acknowledges his gifts and is obedient to him in word and deed. We believe in him like him who reposes hope in him with conviction, inclines to him as a believer, humbles himself before him obediently, believes in his oneness exclusively, regards him great, acknowledging his dignity, and seeks refuge with him with inclination and exertion. Allah the Glorified has not been born so that someone could be his partner in glory. Nor has he begotten any one son as to be inherited from after dying. Time and period have not preceded him. Increase and decrease do not occur to him. But he has manifested himself to our understanding through our having observed his strong control and firm decree. Among the proofs of his creation is the creation of the skies, which are fastened without pillars and stand without support. He called them and they responded obediently and humbly without being lazy or loathsome. If they had not acknowledged his Godhead and obeyed him, he would not have made them the place for his throne, the abode of his angels, and the destination for the rising up of the pure utterances and the righteous deeds of the creatures. He has made the stars in the skies by way of signs by which travelers wandering the various routes of the earth may be guided. The gloom of the dark curtains of the night does not prevent the flame of their light. Nor do the veils of blackish nights have the power to turn back the light of the moon when it spreads in the skies. Glory be to Allah, from whom neither the blackness of dark dusk, or of gloomy night, falling, in the low parts of the earth or on high dim mountains is hidden, nor the thundering of clouds on the horizons of the skies, nor the sparking of lightning in the clouds, nor the falling of leaves blown away from their falling places by the winds of hurricanes or by downpour from the sky. He knows where the drops fall and where they stay, where the grubs leave their trails or where they drag themselves, what livelihood would suffice the mosquitoes and what a female bears in its womb. Praise be to Allah, who exists from before the coming into existence of the seat, the throne, the sky, the earth, the jinn or human being. He cannot be perceived by imagination nor measured by understanding. He who begs from him does not divert him from others, nor does giving away cause him diminution. He does not see by means of an eye, nor can he be confined to a place. He cannot be said to have companions. He does not create with the help of limbs. He cannot be perceived by senses. He cannot be thought of after the people. It is he who spoke to Musa clearly and showed him his great signs. Without the use of bodily parts, the organ of speech or the uvula. Are you who exert yourself in describing Allah? If you are serious, then first try to describe Gabriel, Michael or the host of angels who are close to Allah, in the receptacles of sublimity. But their heads are bent downwards and their wits are perplexed as to how to assign limits of definition to the highest Creator. This is because those things can only be perceived through qualities which have shape and parts, and which succumb to death after reaching the end of their times. There is no God but He. He has lighted every darkness with His effulgence and has darkened every light with the darkness of death. Learning from past people. I advise you, creatures of Allah, to practice fear of Allah who gave you good clothing and bestowed an abundance of sustenance on you. If there was anyone who could secure a ladder to everlasting life or a way to avoid death, it was Sulayman ibn Da'ud, peace be upon him, who was given control over the domain of the jinn and men along with prophethood and great position before Allah. But when he finished what was his due in food of this world, and exhausted his fixed time, the bow of destruction shot him with arrow of death. His houses became vacant, and his habitations became empty. Another group of people inherited them. Certainly, the bygone centuries have a lesson for you. Where are the Amalekites and the sons of Amalekites? Where are the pharaohs? Where are the people of the cities of Aras who killed the prophets, destroyed the traditions of the divine messengers and revived the traditions of the despots? Where are those who advanced with armies, defeated thousands, mobilized forces and populated cities? Imam Mahdi. He will be wearing the armor of wisdom, which he will have secured with all its conditions, such as full attention towards it, its complete knowledge and exclusive devotion to it. For him it is like a thing which he had lost and which he was then seeking, or a need which he was trying to fulfill. If Islam is in trouble, he will feel forlorn like a traveler and like a tired camel beating the end of its tail and with its neck flattened on the ground. He is the last of Allah's proofs and one of the vicegerents of his prophets. On the method of his ruling, and grief over the martyrdom of his companions. A people. I have divulged to you advice which the prophets used to preach before their peoples, and I have conveyed to you what the vicegerents of the prophets conveyed to those coming after them. I tried to train you with my whip, but you could not be straightened. I drove you with admonition, but you did not acquire proper behavior. May Allah deal with you. Do you want an imam other than me to take you on their right path, and show you the correct way? Beware, the things in this world which were forward have become things of the past, and those of which were behind are going ahead. The virtuous people of Allah have made up their minds to leave, and they have purchased, with a little perishable pleasure of this world, a lot of such reward in the next world that will remain. What loss did our brothers whose blood was shed in Siffin suffer by not being alive today? Only that they are not suffering choking on swallowings and not drinking turbid water. By Allah, surely they have met Allah, and He has bestowed upon them their rewards, and He has lodged them in safe houses after their having suffered fear. Where are my brethren who took their right path and trod in rightness? Where is Ammar? Where is Ibn Tayyihan? Where is Zosh Shahadatain? And where are others like them from among their comrades who had pledged themselves to death and whose severed heads were taken to the wicked enemy? Then Amir al-Mu'minin wiped his hand over his auspicious, honored beard and wept for a long time. Then he continued, "O my brothers, who recited the Quran and strengthened it, thought over their obligation and fulfilled it, revived the sunnah and destroyed innovation. When they were called to jihad, they responded and trusted in their leader, then followed him." Then Amir al-Mu'minin shouted at the top of his voice, Al-Jihad, Al-Jihad, fighting, fighting, O creatures of Allah. By Allah, I am mobilizing the army today. He who desires to proceed towards Allah should come forward. North says, then Amir al-Mu'minin put Hussein, peace be upon him, over a force of 10,000, Qais ibn Sa'd, mercy of Allah be upon him, over 10,000, Abu Ayyub Ansari over 10,000, and others over different numbers. Intending to return to Siffin, but Friday did not appear again, and the accursed Ibn Muljim, may Allah curse him, killed him. Consequently, the armies came back and were left like sheep who had lost their shepherd, while wolves were snatching them away from all sides.